We began our journey from Ypres to the Somme by stopping at Neuve-Chappell to see the Indian Memorial. We're entering into the Commonwealth commemoration for Indian troops killed in World War I. We took time to head to Cambrai, the site of the first tank battle, and tried to see the original Mark I tank that was discovered in a farmer's field, which had been kept in his barn for years. We arrived in the Somme and visited Newfoundland Memorial, site of the massacre on the first day of the Somme, where most of the Newfoundland troops were wiped out. Two cousins and two brothers killed during the battle. And you can see this is George Small, and these are his medals. He did survive the battle, however. From the second line of trenches up to the front line and the famous stag at Beaumont-Hammel. Remnant of artillery transport. You can see the combination of trenches as well as shell craters along the front British lines, facing down into the valley where German machine guns were situated. And there's the famous Newfoundland Memorial. You get a really good sense of the trench lines.
Another memorial, the Highland Division's down there with the jock. It's sharp.
From the Mercantile Marines, very the central panel of the 1st Newfoundland Regiment. Here, 2nd Lieutenant Gerard Eyre. The Eyre family was a very prominent family in Newfoundland before the First World War, during the First World War as well. And all 4 members of the Eyre family, all the young men of this family, all 4 of them were killed on the 1st of July 1916. Gerard, he is the only one whose body was never found, never identified. His cousin, Captain Eric Stanley Eyre, is buried at the Ravine Cemetery that we saw down there. His other cousin, his name here as well, Bernard Pitts Eyre, is buried at Knightsbridge Cemetery, the one that I pointed out to you, the field hospital, and his brother, Wilfred Douglas Eyre, is buried in the cemetery just behind that.
Corkscrews. Yeah.
You can clearly see one of the forward observation trenches. And in the attack, this was a backlogged area through the barbed wire, resulting in a huge number of casualties in this particular ravine. Of course, the German machine gunners had the high ground over here at Beaumont-Hammel. This is the German front line. You can see off over there is where the statue is. It was the British front line. The Y ravine was covered by this flank of the German machine gunners, and the massacre ensued.
I like the statue. It's so sharp. probably was a mass grave. They just
13th of November, all 13.
yeah, that's later on in the battle.
Was it?
You can see a mass grave here due to the tightness and proximity of the war graves to each other. So when they can't distinguish, they often do that. The next stop in our tour was the Ulster Tower, which recognizes the contribution of those from Ulster.
Yeah, that's how many won Victoria Cross.
There's a poignant chapel with all the various units commemorated within with their plaques and various forms of remembrance. The Thiepval Memorial is located near the wiped out town and is the main British memorial, which is dedicated to nearly 74,000 British and Commonwealth soldiers who fell during the Battle of the Somme from July to November 1916. There's Hawthorne Ridge. Explosion took place.
Yesterday, I would have bet that we'd win. With everything we threw at their mugs. But the just... It's 07:30 hours. Time for the attack. It's a moment of truth. I'm going over the top to cross no man's land. We've received instructions to walk straight ahead until we reach the second German line. But with these 27 kilos on my back, I'm not going to be moving very fast. I've got enough food and water for 2 days. That's not going to do me much good if I die before then.
British Army miners tunneled under German lines and packed them with explosives. These were triggered for the start of the Battle of the Somme. The largest of these explosions was Lochnagar, and it was the largest explosion up into Hiroshima. Eyewitness accounts indicate that the dirt flew 4,000 meters in the air and the sound could be heard in London. It buried many German soldiers alive. This would be the German lines that they blew up to commence the battle. The site has been turned into a memorial and is maintained through voluntary donations at the site. Entering the town of Albert. Albers is important as it was the site of the injury of Pipe Major Dunbar during a grenade exploding as he was resting behind the front lines. Unfortunately, Pipe Major Dunbar had to be replaced by his pipe sergeant for the remaining part of the war. He still remains an important legacy in the Argyll pipe band history, and we continue to play his bagpipes in the band today.